Yeah, I think that my first opening statement has nothing to do with basketball. Honestly, I want to make sure that I say this. We lost a dear friend in our coaching profession today. Bill Courtney, who's currently an assistant coach at Temple University, but was an assistant coach at UVA. He and I worked together at Virginia Tech, and for a couple of years there, and he's just been a dear friend to so many in this business. And it just is a reminder for all of us. Wins, losses, things that happen. In our game, we get caught up in sometimes, and we lose sight of, what's most important, and our loved ones, our friends, the family, being there for one another. And nobody did it better than Bill Courtney. No one. Every day that he came in to the office, he had a smile on his face, and he made people happy. He made his players happy. He made his coworkers happy, and he made his family, most importantly, happy. And so he's going to be dearly missed. This was a good basketball game for Virginia, no doubt. Louisville's excellent. Coach Kelsey does an awesome job. They have really good players. They work well together. They put so much pressure on you in transition. We were completely worried about, getting our defense set and getting back against them. They're relentless on the glass. They're relentless in their three-point shooting. And, I thought for the most part our guys, did a really nice job throughout the night. Clearly, the start really helped us when you're on the road in a hostile environment, a great place like Louisville. Getting off to a good start is imperative, and we got off to a good start on both sides of the ball. Obviously, you can't win a game 14-0. You have to play the entire game, and I thought our guys, did a really nice job throughout of answering the majority of the challenges that came our way. A lot of different contributors, happy to talk about any of them. Certainly a big game, for Johan, big game for Malik. Dallin was steady and the leader that we need him to be.
Thank you, Coach. Jeff White.
Ryan, Louisville came in averaging almost 90 points a game. I know you've talked about the block shots in the past, but
Yeah.
There were 9 tonight. Johan had 4. Hugo had 3. What does that mean to your defense?
Yeah, it's huge. If teams can get inside of your defense and get near the rim, a lot of times, the metrics will tell you those are usually baskets or fouls. And so when you have guys back there that can protect the rim and understand how to do that without fouling, certainly can be a weapon for your defense.
Hey, Brian, I just wanted to get your take kind of on professionals in college. I know, obviously, DeRitter for you guys, Frew and London Johnson didn't play tonight, but these are guys who have some experience outside of college and coming back to college.
Sure.
It's kind of been a lot of consternation about it, but what is your stance just on how they are making the game better? Are they taking away any opportunities? What do you feel about kind of the long-term future of this as a pipeline?
Yeah, I think honestly they're all kind of professionals now over the last few years, and so I can't speak for Frew, but I could speak for our guys, that are playing for us. Probably making less money than the guys that were playing over here the last couple of years. All right, where they were playing, and so it's part of the sport now. So I while I understand, like my father's old school, and he grew up and came up in an era where it was just you earned your way, and I still think that exists. It has to still exist. We can't give kids everything that they want, but clearly overall we need to figure something out. There needs to be some stability, some guardrails around our game, and I don't think there's any coach that would dispute that at this point. And who's going to make that decision? Who's going to be the first to do it? I have no idea. But clearly we all, I think, want that. Going forward, you can't fault anyone, for utilizing the rules, all right, to their advantage, the way that they are currently set. So, I think it's just part of the game until they figure out, all right, where are we going with this thing, and that's not for Ryan Odom to decide.
Coach, it seemed like your team got a lot of good looks out of that middle pick and roll coverage, a lot of open threes. Was that something that you saw on tape, or was that just an adjustment in the game? But it seemed like you guys were very productive there.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we want to try to go to within each game. A lot of times, when teams are back a little bit and they're in their whites or drops, whatever you want to call it, you can get into the middle there and create some issues. And I thought Chance did a nice job. Dallin certainly did a really nice job in the middle of the floor. And they were doing a good job in the first half, certainly, once things settled, of keeping us out of the paint. And so we had to design and figure out ways that we could get in there. And, Louisville does a great job of protecting their paint in twos.
Did you talk to your guys at all about this stretch that you have started now with 4 road games and 5 and ranked teams in there? Or do you just focus on the challenge ahead?
Yeah, we're just process-oriented, just focusing on what's next, and everybody's all in on that particular prep and that game. And certainly we knew, if you start looking ahead, it'll just suffocate you. And so I don't want my players thinking about what's next or whatever. I don't want my coaches thinking about it. We want everybody focused on what is the task at hand. What are we trying to get accomplished? Let's learn from it, whether we win or lose, and move on, to the next one. And certainly, we're excited to play in games like this. That's why a lot of these guys came to Virginia. They wanted to play in important games, and certainly, tonight was a good one, for us.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been asked this question a ton so far this season, but when you have to build a roster from scratch, I'm just kind of wondering, what are the keys for you to get, so many new players, who haven't played together much at all, to be able to get them on the same page and to be able to, just like play as a unit like we saw tonight?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you have to, bring people in that fit the school and that fit the coaching and the style. And certainly, we feel like we've done really well with the guys that we have here. The character is extremely strong. They've connected. We've done a lot of things. Nothing earth-shattering that other coaches aren't doing. Just spending time together, and making it a point to be together, be present, get from this experience. Any team that I've coached, I say the same thing every single year. It's this team has one life to live, and so we want to live this life to its fullest. And that means that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get everything that you want. That's not going to guarantee that you're going to play, and score 25 every game. It's just a chance to be on, a really special team if you'll let it happen, because we really have talented guys. And I think they care about one another, and that's what being on a team's all about. It's like you have to care deeply about one another and not worry about who's getting the credit. It's all about Virginia, getting the credit. Thanks.